Hello and welcome to episode 41 of the Nourish and Strengthen podcast. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that is coming. It is coming whether we like it or not, and that thing is summertime. Guys, I love summer. I love it. I love laying out by my pool. I love hanging out in my bathing suit and just kind of enjoying the sun and the warmth and going on walks outside when it's warm. I love all things about summer. I sound like Olaf on Frozen. I love all things summer. Doesn't he like sing about that? I can't remember. But I don't know if you guys realized Memorial Day is 10 weeks away. Like literally it's 10 weeks away. So if you have fitness goals that you're struggling with, you might feel a little bit of a panic to realize that Memorial Day is 10 weeks away. Okay, maybe you're excited. Maybe you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I thought I would be so much farther in my goals by this time of year. I totally get it. I've been there. So that is why I'm here. Okay, that is what this episode is all about. I'm going to give you 7 things that I personally would do if I wanted to lose 10 to 15 pounds in the next 10 weeks. Okay. So these are going to be in addition to the obvious, okay? I'm not going to go over, make sure you're in a calorie deficit, yada, yada. We all know that, okay? I'm going to go into 7 different things that I want you to do in addition to making sure you're in a calorie deficit, okay? So hopefully you get an idea or two that is a new one for you. You can implement into your routine. But first of all, I have to plug here, okay, you guys? If you are truly serious about losing 10 to 15 pounds by summertime, we really need to chat, okay? That's a very normal average amount of weight that our clients lose in about 12 weeks on our Moxie Elite program. We have a very unique approach. It's going to allow for food freedom, eating those foods you love, moderation in your workout, so we don't have anyone spending hours and hours in the gym. You don't even have to go to the gym if you don't want to. We also approach fat loss in a way that keeps your hormones and your gut health happy and healthy. So if you have hormone imbalances, we can help with that as well. I'm going to put a link to book a time to chat with my team in the show notes, but you can always reach out to me on social media as well. If you have any questions, let me know your goals. We can talk through maybe some tips, a possible plan for you. But let's just go ahead and jump on in. Okay, so 7 things, guys. Now, at risk of sounding clickbaity, the last one is going to surprise you. It really might. I really might. I did have one that is probably going to surprise you. And I did move it to the end so that you listen to the whole thing. Okay, so sue me. I want you guys to listen to all my tips. So I put the most surprising one at the end. Okay, number 1. If I wanted to lose 10 to 15 pounds by summer, I would walk. A lot. Okay, now I know you're probably like, snooze fest. I hear this all the time. I know we have to walk. Guys, I couldn't make this list without including it, okay? So, basics, right? If you are currently not walking much at all, 2,000 to 3,000 steps, bump it up 2,000. Have that be your target until that feels easier. I have found though, over 10,000 steps a day is great for weight loss. Me personally, if I'm in a little bit of a cut, I am trying to get about 12,000 steps a day. Now it might seem super hard. I'm going to give you some tips here, okay? First, I want to illustrate an example though. We have had many clients go through this, but one client in particular, she's actually a member of our team. Not going to say who it is, but she was struggling. She was feeling kind of stuck. She was not walking very much. Her role in our team was more sitting in front of a desk or in front of a computer a lot. And she was typically hitting like 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day. Okay. She got a walking pad. She recently got a walking pad and jumped on that thing whenever she could in 10 to 15 minutes throughout her day. Now she is hitting 10,000 steps a day super easily, and her progress is way better. She is no longer stuck and plateaued in her weight loss. Guys, I can't reiterate enough how important that NEAT is. Remember, NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and it is absolutely crucial in reaching those goals and losing the weight. Okay, so let's talk about some tips on getting more steps in. Okay, there's the obvious. Park farther away from the store. Take laps of the store. Whenever I'm grocery shopping and Aubrey is like, oh, can we go get something over here? Instead of being like, no, let's finish the groceries while we're over here, I'm like, yeah, let's go get something on the opposite side of the store and then turn around and come back to this opposite side of the store. It's just thinking about everything in a way of how can I get more movement in, okay? If my goal was not losing 10 to 15 pounds in the next 12 weeks, walking is great for your health, but I probably wouldn't stress so much over it. But when you have a goal of weight loss, you want to walk as much as you possibly can, okay? Some other ideas: pacing your house when you're talking on the phone, when you're scrolling social media. One tip, actually specifically to scrolling social media, is make it a non-negotiable rule for you that every time you want to scroll, you have to pace your house. How is that for an idea? Every time you want to scroll, you got to pace around in your house. It's going to decrease your scrolling time, but it's also going to increase your steps and boost your weight loss. Okay. Another thing, guys, walking pads, they're not overrated. They are absolutely incredible. So easy to just plug it into the wall, jump on there for 10 minutes after a meal, just randomly when you have time throughout the day. Even just having a few little 10 to 15 minute chunks is going to add thousands of steps to your day. Okay. If you have a dog, take your dog on a 30 to a 40-minute walk every single day, no matter how cold it is. I mean, I say that, but I know if you're in the Midwest or a place where it is truly freezing, 15, 20 something odd degrees or even less, you may not be able to do that. But for most of the year, especially where we're inching into springtime here, you should be able to get outside and walk for a solid amount of time. Okay. Another tip here is have routes in your neighborhood that you know are 1,000 steps, 1,500 steps, 2,000 steps, for example. And then at the end of the day, if you're like, oh crap, I'm 2,000 steps short, you know exactly where you need to go walk. You need to walk to the end of this road, turn left a little bit, go 2 houses down, turn around and come back. You know exactly what you need to do to fill in that deficit of your steps. Okay, so that's a good trick. I know that if I walk down one street to the end of the road, it's 1,000 steps. If I walk down another street to the end of the road, it's 1,500. I kind of have those routes in my mind. So I know if I don't have a walking pad, you can always jump on your walking pad, but sometimes it feels so nice to get outside, right? You know exactly where to go and to fill in that deficit. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Number 2, if I wanted to lose 10 to 15 pounds by summer, I would bulk up my meals with veggies. And I have a veggie life hack right now that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so we know that you need to be in a calorie deficit for weight loss, of course. And in a calorie deficit, you are purposely taking in more calories than your body needs in an attempt to lose body fat, right? Are we in agreement there? So you might be hungry. There's not really a lot of ways around this, but adding more veggies to your meals to kind of bulk those up can help you stay more full and satisfied. So here's my veggie life hack. Might just change your life, maybe. So Kirkland stir fry veggies, you guys, or they have so many good bagged veggies right now at Costco. I mean, of course you can go anywhere, but I'm finding a lot of great ones at Costco. The stir fry ones have carrots, broccoli, green beans, sugar snap peas. They've got water chestnuts. That's fun. They got mushrooms. I always throw those out. They've also got a mix that has peppers, onions, and Brussels sprouts. That's super fun. But the key here is throwing them in your air fryer. I actually got this tip from Moxie coach Janaea. I don't know why I never did this, because they're like a roasted veggie mix, right? And so I've done like sauteing it on a pan, but then because they're frozen, they just get so watery and like kind of soggy. But guys, throwing them in your air fryer, the water kind of, you know, from the ice and the frozenness kind of like drains down to the bottom. Or it just evaporates. I don't know what it does, but it doesn't sit in there and make it all soggy. They're so good. So I love this because you don't have to buy like 3 bell peppers and an onion and a zucchini and a this and a that. You're just buying one big bag of a veggie mix, throwing a bunch of it in your air fryer, and in like 10 minutes at 400 or 10 to 12 minutes, you are done. Salt it, put some yummy seasonings on it. It is absolutely delicious. Okay. Tip number 3, if I wanted to lose 10 to 15 pounds by summer, I would get a lot of sleep, okay? I have to tell you guys, I think I've shared this story before, but I'm going to share a quick version again. In 2021, we were remodeling the main floor of our house, which meant that my husband and I did not have a bedroom. So we were sleeping on a mattress downstairs in our basement kitchen. Okay, we had no bedroom. That was it. My whole family shared a bathroom, but that's beside the point. It was great memories. We felt like we were camping. It was wonderful. Camping with a roof over our head. But that summer, I was doing a little mini cut, and I swear I had the easiest time losing weight as I have ever had in my entire life because I was sleeping, guys, like 8.5, 9 hours a night. Not saying you have to sleep quite that much, but because we were all sharing one bathroom, one floor of the house, it was summertime. I just wasn't getting up super early in the morning and like heading out to the gym or getting up really early to work or things like that. So I was getting a lot of sleep, and fat loss happened. Like, I don't want to say effortlessly, but kind of almost. So that's what made me a huge believer. I mean, of course, we know that sleep helps fat loss. We know that. There is so much research supporting that. But it's hard. It's so hard. I get it, you guys. It's hard to do. So I want you guys to focus on a few things here, okay? I want you to focus on your sleep hygiene, your bedtime routines, things like no screens, no scrolling within 2 hours of going to bed, getting out a journal and writing down maybe your stressful thoughts or just anything that's on your mind can help get those thoughts out of your mind and help you fall asleep easier. Another tip I have that's kind of unique is having a work wind down routine. What does that mean? To me personally, at the end of my workday, I write down what I did not get done that day, any maybe projects I'm in the middle of, basically any thoughts from work that I want to remember in the morning. Just getting that down into my productivity planner that I use. If you want to check it out, it's actually called Productivity Planner on Amazon. Just getting those thoughts out on paper help me kind of close down the workday. Also, just actually shutting my computer helps kind of that transition from work to personal life, which really helps falling asleep because you don't have those open loops throughout the day that you never really closed, right? Let's see what else we've got. Maybe reading a book before bed, relaxing, some deep breathing. Also, you need to make sure that you're getting in bed in time to get enough sleep. So whatever time you need to wake up in the morning, I want you to work backwards, count about 8 hours, and then add on about a 30-minute buffer to actually give yourself time to relax and fall asleep. I don't know about you. If you can fall asleep the minute your head hits the pillow, you are one lucky duck because I can't. My husband can. He edits this podcast. And so when he listens to this, there's times, guys, when I'm in bed and the lights are dim and I'm reading my book and I'm just like, why can't I get tired? And he lays down and within like seconds, he's like, shh, just kidding. He doesn't snore. But if he breathes, I am like, what in the heck? Why are you even asleep right now when I have been trying to go to sleep for like 20 minutes? So there you go, honey. Shout out to my husband when he is editing this podcast. He will hear this. Anyway, yeah, so make sure you allow time to wind down. That's the point there. Because most of us don't just fall sound asleep when our head hits the pillow, right? Another tip here that's unique is get outside in natural light as soon as you can in the morning, okay? Even if it's not sunny, if it's cloudy or what, just getting outside in that natural light as soon as either you wake up or as soon as the sun comes up. That's really going to help your circadian rhythms, and it's actually going to help you fall asleep. Okay. It's going to help increase cortisol. I know we're like, wait, cortisol is bad. No, we need healthy amounts of cortisol. We need cortisol to rise in the morning and fall throughout the day because the rise of cortisol actually helps the lowering of melatonin. And as cortisol comes down throughout the day and gets really low at nighttime, melatonin levels naturally come up. This is how our bodies rely on our circadian rhythm and how we can, have a good normal sleep and wake schedule. So yeah, sleep, super, super important, guys. Number 4, I want you to reduce stress however you can, okay? So if you're trying to lose weight, we've talked about this, you need to be in a calorie deficit and you may need some cardio. So I want you to really try to be in the smallest calorie deficit possible and do the least amount of cardio possible, okay? Of course, we want you seeing results. Okay, so what I mean is the least amount of calorie deficit and cardio possible in order to see the results you want to see, okay? Because calorie deficit and cardio is a stress on the body, okay? Yeah, if our goal is fat loss, it's a stress that is necessary, of course, but we want to also do things that are, we're aware that our body's under this stress for our goals. So we want to try to mitigate that stress however we can. So some ways to do that are incorporating restorative yoga. Now, I do not mean power yoga, flow yoga, where you're breathing super deep like you're doing cardio and you're sweating. Well, you can sweat if you want to, you're in a warm room, but I mean restorative, almost more like a meditation where you're holding stretches, like that kind of yoga. Okay. You can sit in a sauna, you can get massages, you can do meditation, deep breathing, focusing on doing something you love just for you for at least 15 minutes a day, whether that is, arts and crafts or playing an instrument or spending time with people you love or even watching a show, as long as it's not right before bed. Just having that time to decompress and chill out and do something that you want to do, because it can be stressful, guys, as women and mothers, to just be going and feel like you're giving all of your time to other people. It's stressful, right? So doing something for yourself is really helpful for stress levels. Connecting with loved ones, spending time laughing. I don't mean just like, okay, ready, go, ha 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 ha, like truly laughing, look at funny memes, share memes with people you love. I mean, I know that goes back to scrolling, so make sure you're walking while you're looking at your memes, JK. But just having those interactions with people you love is so, so important. So, all right, guys, number 5. If I wanted to lose 10 to 15 pounds in the next 10 weeks, I would focus on reducing inflammation, okay? Inflammation, guys, is the root of most hormonal imbalances that we see. And so let's talk about some ways to reduce inflammation. One way is to manage your recovery. If you're in a calorie deficit, now is not the time to be lifting 6 days a week, okay? Never lift 7 days a week, never, ever, ever. And we rarely, if ever, I don't think ever, have our clients lifting 6 days a week, because when you are over 35 or 40, you're starting to get some of those hormonal imbalances. You have to prioritize recovery even more than you ever have in your entire life, okay? We have most of our clients lifting 4 days a week. Some are at 3, maybe some are at 5, but most are probably at 4. So that is a really good balance of 3 days of recovery, 4 days of lifting, okay? And I want you to limit your HIIT workouts as well. If you are in a position where you are doing them, if you feel like you're hormonally healthy, doing HIIT workouts will be a stress on the body, of course, which it will increase inflammation. But just make sure you're being aware of your recovery, okay? Another way to reduce inflammation is, this might sound obvious, but don't eat foods that don't agree with you or that you're intolerant to. If you have thought maybe you have an intolerance to dairy, maybe you have, when you have a lot of Greek yogurt or cottage cheese or gluten, maybe you have an intolerance to, and you get stomach aches, you notice you don't feel as good, you're fuzzy headed, you have headaches, different things like that, you may be slightly intolerant to them. Even if you are not lactose intolerant, even if you're not celiac, you can still have slight intolerances to different foods. So if you want to reduce inflammation as much as possible, don't eat foods that your body doesn't handle very well, okay? You may possibly want to do a liver flush. This is something that we do in our hormone protocols. If you're in our coaching program and you are interested in this, just go ahead and reach out to your coach and say, hey, I heard Lindsay talking about a liver flush on her podcast. We can totally talk with you and see if it's a good fit for you. But that can be huge in reducing inflammation as well. It's a very specific protocol. I'm not going to walk through that all here, but it is an option for our clients. And the last thing here is supplementation. 3 to 6 grams of high quality fish oil is really, really effective in reducing that total body inflammation. So there's a few tips there, guys. Some to keep in mind. Just make sure you're healthy, you're feeling good, and reducing that inflammation will be really, really important in weight loss. Next thing, number 6, bump up your water intake. Okay, most of us are dehydrated all the time and not getting enough water. And when we are not getting enough water, when we're dehydrated, our digestion and our metabolism are going to suffer, okay? So I want you to drink more water. I want you to get at minimum half your body weight in ounces of water a day, okay? So tips on doing that: have a water bottle that you love, that you just kind of keep with you. Drink out of a straw if you love straws. They're not good for wrinkles around your lips, but it is what it is. If it's the only way you can drink, then go for it, right? I drink out of straws all the time, and I'm always like, I probably shouldn't do this as I start to get older and more wrinkly. Whenever you go to the bathroom, keep a water bottle in there and like make a rule where every time you go pee, you drink 10 gulps of water. Every time the water bottle touches your mouth, swallow 10 times instead of just once or twice. Different tips like this, whenever you go to drink water, drink extra. That's kind of my most helpful tip about increasing your water intake is just every time you think to drink a bunch instead of just drinking a little, okay? And then the last one, here's the surprising one. If I were trying to lose 10 to 15 pounds by summer, I would have dessert daily. What? You might be thinking, what? I can't have dessert. I actually have to cut out dessert if I want to reach my goals. And that, my friend, is where you would be wrong, okay? If you are including a treat daily, a dessert, whatever that is, if that's a healthy version of a dessert, or if it's just a small portion of a true dessert, a cookie, a half a brownie, a little bit of ice cream, whatever that looks like for you, if you are including that daily, you are going to be so much more likely to stay on plan and not cheat, binge, throw in the towel, go totally off track. You have to lose the restrictive mindset that typically comes with fat loss, okay? If you are constantly telling yourself, you can't have that cookie, that's all you're gonna want, and over time, you're gonna end up having 10 cookies. Guys, it is so much better to just have the cookie when you want it, okay? So even better than that, even better than having the cookie when you want it, is planning it in advance. Planning your day around this daily treat. You're going to look forward to it. You're going to have it often. You're not going to have that restrictive mindset where you can't have this or that, which is going to leave you just only wanting that thing even more. Okay. So have dessert daily, do it, work it into your overall nutrition plan, and it's going to be a game changer for how you feel as you reach those goals. Okay. So I hope these 7 tips were helpful for you guys. I want to know, reach out to me on social. Let me know which tip you're going to incorporate into your plan. And please let me know if you are stuck and feeling like you need some help. Even if you're not interested in coaching, I can give you some tips and tricks, that kind of thing. I would love to chat with you about your goals. So again, I'm going to put that link in the show notes if you want to hop on a call with my team or just reach out to me on social media, either way. So hope that was helpful for you guys. If it was, go ahead and leave me a rating and review. I would love nothing more. And I will see you guys next week.